Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FedBiz Exchange. I'm Michelle Brown, your coach and your mentor. Today, I want to talk to you guys about some more opportunities that are out here for service contracts. This year in 2024, I'd like to see many of you that are not necessarily interested in products. I'd like to see you doing more service contracts. You may not know what's out there. So if you watched my video the other day, you know that I've been working on showing you various opportunities like laundry services. I know some of you, I have at least two of you that I know for sure that you actually like doing laundry services and you have a laundry service business. But I just use that as an example. Today, I want to show you some other opportunities that need focus and that need a lot of help and assistance. That would be the Veterans Administration. The Veterans Administration really needs a lot of assistance from contractors that are focused on helping veterans to get out of that homelessness cycle. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Listen, before we get started, I want to personally invite you to join me March 15th in my free live How to Win Homeless Veteran 5-year contracts. That's March 15th. I look forward to seeing you there. Now let's get back to the video. So let's get into it. I want to show you what's out there so that the next area that I'm going to go into will show you how do I compete for something like that? How do I start looking for pricing? I'm going to do that with laundry services. I'm going to do that with the homeless veteran services. And then I'll probably choose one more category. I'll show you guys how you need to think about what your business model would look like, because it doesn't matter where you are. You could start in your home state, but you don't have to. Maybe you have some resources that would allow you to think differently. For instance, maybe you're used to owning real estate property and you have houses in other states, but it also doesn't have to be your house that you assist the government with when it comes to helping homeless veterans. So let's get into it. So I'm already at SAM.gov. You know what I do. I love my keywords because a lot of times keywords bring up a lot of different information. So it could actually bring up homelessness opportunities, but it could bring up maybe homeless meals. It could bring up, in some cases, look at this, homeless blankets. That may not be what you're looking for, but a lot of these are 4 and 5-year contracts. So let's get into it. So the first one up here would be a counseling service. And it's also, look at this, it is a sources sought that's due. So, but it is for homeless veterans. They need a lease. So, what would you do if you were interested in that? You would just click on that lease. Now, for those of you that may not have watched my video from the other day, this week, all I did was put in keywords, because one of the things you need to do is I use the keyword homeless, but one of the things you really need to do to broaden your horizons when you're looking for opportunities, because sometimes they put things in the wrong place. Maybe the contracting officer uses the wrong codes, but this code X1DB may be a code that you need to add, which would be your PSC code. You might need to add that to your SAM if you're finding opportunities in that area. Here is this one. Now, this is a more common one, G099, residential housing and healthcare for veterans. Now, not all of this will be for veterans. Some of it could be for children. It could be for youth. It could be for women. It could be for women veterans. It could be for anyone that the government is taking responsibility for. You will see a lot of these out here if you're consistently looking every day or every other day. It only takes a few minutes. So I put in homeless because I want you to see the different PSC codes, the different product service codes that you need to search for under this code, or let's say the other code up here. You can search by keywords at first, and then you pull up. Right now we have about 22 opportunities. Not all of them will be current, but the good news is that most of them will be sources sought. And even if the sources sought is past due, doesn't matter. You could still send them a response to the sources sought. I'll talk to you guys about sources sought maybe next week or later this week. But we have another opportunity here. I'm going to look at this one right here, G004. So we already have 3 PSC codes that if you're interested in helping veterans, there's a lot of money in this, meaning you have to have the business model, which I will talk to you guys about later on in a different video, but you need to make sure that you understand what they're asking for. Some of them are very simple. Some of them may want you to provide food also, but a lot of them just want shelter. So that might mean you simply finding 4 beds or 10 beds or 20 beds for a house that you might decide to rent. And then you supply the services. So here's another code, G004, in emergency shelter for homeless veterans. Most of these are long-term. Some of them only last for a year, but they could be considered transitional housing. That's another key word that you could do. So here's another program, SUDS. I don't really know what that is. It stands for, its initials for something. If we wanted to know, we could click on that and go inside. But Contract for Housing Program. Then also HUD case management. Now that might be something a little bit different, where they need maybe a whole team of people, like maybe some nurses and doctors, maybe some nutritionalists, but we won't know until we open it up. And even though it was a couple of weeks ago that it was due, if you are interested, once you open this up, you need to respond. Here's another one. Now we're on G005. This one is emergency housing for geriatric veterans. That would be older veterans, okay? Veterans that are seniors. This is another good one, but this is a pre-solicitation. Here's another one, emergency housing for veterans with dependents. This is an area that is very crucial and needs a lot of help. Most of you guys, if I have 5 of you guys out there interested in something like this, you could do this and not run into each other, because these are 5-year contracts, meaning there's low competition in this area. That's why there's so many out here. Now, here's another one, another pre-solicitation. So you guys, you need to remember there's a process when they're looking for contractors like us to assist with these contracts, meaning first it starts out as a sources sought. They do that to see if they could get veterans, women, different types of set-aside groups, or just small businesses in general. So this is good for us because they prefer to work with small businesses. Anyone, even if you own a real estate company and you are at the $20 million level, you are still considered a small business. So you could apply for this. And once they set aside for small business, that eliminates a lot of the larger corporate competition, because there is corporate competition in these types of scenarios and in these types of setups. But we want to make sure, I want to make sure that you guys know these opportunities are out here. So it just goes on and on and on. Look at this one, emergency housing co-ed veterans, unbelievable. I wish that I were in a position sometimes to do some of these, but you guys know that I'm working on manufacturing. I do plan to, when I retire, and I plan to retire early while I'm young, when I retire, I plan to do some of these. But a lot of these are sources sought right now. The money is coming. Do you see how many opportunities there are out here? So if you're interested in this, I am going to do some free training on this. I'll have the link in the comment section below so that you guys can join me for the free training and then I will walk you through what you need to do to make sure that you can be a part of this program. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, do exactly what I did. Go in and write down these different examples and be ready for my free training.